Hello everyone, this is a preview in pediatric neurology.
Neurological examination. Babinsk reflex, very simple to do. Firmly scratch the sole of the foot from the heel on the lateral aspect or on the lateral side, going up towards the little toe, then finally towards the big toe. And the result, you will see normal reflex, the toes will be down, flexion. The toes will go down, flexion. This is normal. Abnormal, positive Babinsk reflex, if you see fanning or toes up or extensor plantar response, this is abnormal, but this can be seen normally in children less than 3 years of age. This 14-year-old male was found in the bathroom on the floor shaking all upper and lower extremities non-stop. He was stiff and drooling. He never been diagnosed with seizures before, but his parents noticed him having some jerks in the morning. And sometimes the toothbrush fell from his hands and he always looked clumsy in the morning. His physical examination is unremarkable and his EEG is positive for spike and polyspike wave. What is the most likely diagnosis? Juvenile myoclonic epilepsy, absence seizure, benign epilepsy with centrotemporal spikes, drug overdose, Rasmussen encephalitis. The correct answer is juvenile myoclonic epilepsy. The key words: adolescence with new onset seizure, myoclonic seizure, and looks always clumsy in the morning. Juvenile myoclonic epilepsy is a high yield, very important to know it by heart. Myoclonic seizures in adolescence, jerks involving the upper extremities, common upon awakening or in the morning. Sometimes the toothbrush or the comb fell from the hands. Sometimes described by parents as clumsy in the morning. This is a key word. Sensitive to sleep deprivation, EEG is 4 to 6 Hz spike and polyspike wave. Treatment is for life. Drug of choice, valproic acid. Also may consider lamotrigine or levetiracetam or Keppra. A 7-month-old boy suffers from recurrent complex febrile seizures, which only occur when he has a fever. The last episode of febrile seizures lasted for 30 minutes. He babbles, he can sit alone, smiles, and transfers objects between hands. His physical examination is unremarkable except for 2 large white macules on the trunk, and his family history is negative for seizures or any other significant medical conditions. What is the best diagnostic test? EEG, brain MRI, renal Doppler ultrasound, abdominal CT scan, complete metabolic panel. The correct answer is brain MRI, looking for tumors because of risk of tuberous sclerosis. He has recurrent complex febrile seizures or seizure or epilepsy in general, plus 2 large white ash leaf spots, which is the white macules on the trunk. So very important to rule out tuberous sclerosis in this case. Tuberous sclerosis. Tuberous sclerosis is inherited as autosomal dominant because of mutation in chromosome 9 or chromosome 16. Incidence is 1 in 6,000 live births. 50% may be spontaneous mutations without positive family history as in the previous case. Major features of tuberous sclerosis: ash leaf spots. Ash leaf spots are white macules or skin hypopigmentation. Very important for any child with autism or recurrent seizures or developmental delay to examine the skin for hypopigmentation or ash leaf spots. Very important not to miss it. Chagrin patch. Chagrin patch is a connective tissue hamartoma. Can be found in the lower back. It has a texture of leather or leathery textures. Preangual fibroma, facial angiofibroma, as you see here, this is facial angiofibroma, can be mistaken for acne. But this one clusters around the nose. Cardiac rhabdomyoma, you can have the rhabdomyoma in the heart because of tuberous sclerosis. Renal and pulmonary angiomyolipoma, so affect the kidney and the lung. Cortical tumors or subependymal giant cell astrocytoma, and this can cause obstructive hydrocephalus. Clinical manifestation or symptoms of tuberous sclerosis: seizures. This is the most common presenting symptoms. So any child having seizures, you have to examine the skin for ash leaf spots or skin hypopigmentation. Infantile spasm, learning disability, intellectual disability, commonly associated with autism, ADHD, or obsessive compulsive disorder. Management of tuberous sclerosis, seizure control, echocardiogram for the heart, for cardiac rhabdomyoma, blood pressure check because the tuberous sclerosis affects the kidney, renal ultrasound, neuroimaging or head CT or MRI. A 5-year-old boy fell from the stairs on the second floor and cried immediately. 10 minutes later, he became drowsy and unconscious. His pupils are dilated and are unequal. He was rushed to ER immediately, and CT scan showed convex hyperdensity, convex lens-shaped hyperdensity. What is the most likely diagnosis? Subarachnoid hemorrhage, subdural hemorrhage, epidural hemorrhage, or subgaleal hemorrhage? The correct answer is epidural hemorrhage. Epidural hemorrhage appeared on CT scan as convex or lens-shaped hyperdensity. Epidural hemorrhage is bleeding between dura and skull. Bleeding between dura and skull. The affected vessels, arterial bleeding, middle meningeal artery, this is the most common, associated with temporal scar fracture. In children can also occur from venous bleeding and is not always associated with skull fracture. On CT scan will appear as convex lens-shaped hyperdensity.
Having trouble or trying to pass the pediatric board exam? We have the definitive solution for you, presenting the Last Minute Review series, a powerful tool for achieving success in pediatric board exams, crafted by Dr. Osama Naga, a board-certified pediatrician by American Board of Pediatrics and the editor of the Pediatric Board Study Guide, a last-minute review. Dr. Naga breaks down the most critical subjects in this series. The Pediatric Last Minute Review webpage offers a thorough and rigorous set of pediatric board review sessions that are in line with the study guide. The lectures will cover the most important topics for each condition that a pediatrician must know for pediatric board exams, as well as real-life clinical encounters. The inclusion of a clinical case scenario, accompanied by multiple choice questions, followed by the most probable answer and a comprehensive description of the issue, will ensure test readiness for each student. You will be able to download the lecture's PDF files to make your studies easier, to take notes and be accessible on the go and offline. Based on the membership plan you choose, you will have unlimited access to the lectures for either 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year. By viewing these videos, you will increase your chances of passing the board exam and gain substantial advantages from the acquired knowledge. Additionally, by studying the material and completing the AAP prep questions from the previous 3 years, you will greatly increase your likelihood of passing the board and will acquire a wealth of knowledge. Click on the link provided below to visit lastminutepediatric.com and subscribe immediately. Be sure to take advantage of our free video samples on our YouTube channel, Pediatric Board Last Minute Review. Good luck with your exams.